Game number 1 between TNC, Predator and EXECRATION about to start, and it should be a good one. Of course, we'll bring up the loot bet odds in just a moment and see what they are thinking, as KP's going to have a nice little laugh before we get started.
Yeah, that's a close one though. If they got that kill, Ken would be, well, you know, he would be raging a bit, I'm sure. Not a pleasant time. Still, how do you look at these laning faces
Speaking of
already,
raging, John. Yeah, Raging's in trouble. He might be raging in a moment, as Rubik is, yeah, he's kind of gone. Gabby going to be able to pick him up. BDZ unable to really help him out on the Pangolier. He will continue to just whack away on Gabby. In fact, does get a trade. BDZ able to at least even it out. And in fact, I'd say that's a win for BDZ in the side of EXECRATION. Unless March gets a trade now, but he does not connect with the Gale. Still chasing BDZ. One more hit. No, he'll eat a Fairy Fire and salve up. Goes back on March. BDZ, you didn't really just get a double kill. He might, but no. There is a Fade Ball out from Raging, and that'll do it. March does die. BDZ on the way... I thought I was about to say on the way back to the fountain.
Not a good sign when that first RP doesn't net you anything. Usually that's fine, but when you're this low and you have March around, it could be dicey.
Oh, Ken's gone. Yeah, it's not great news. Good rotation out from March, of course, on the Veno. And so KP's just dominating the lane now. And Tim's, if he does land an arrow onto Palos, will basically guarantee that he dies. Tim's will keep tabs on where this PA is going. In fact, Armel, what a great rotation out. He found Palos exactly where he was. He has one remnant. He will commit it, but he is now out of mana and out of skills to use. So Palos going to turn around. Armel does get the kill, but it will mean Armel dies in the process. Still worthwhile for TNC. Maybe just a little bit greedy there from Armel.
Once you reach that 10-minute mark and towers are going to be taken, and you lose some ground here in EXECRATION, gotta be careful about that point.
Tim's be chased down. On lane, looks like there is a bit of a chase down to Raging. Interesting to note, Raging's running that core Rubik that we just saw out of Among Us, but not quite panning out as well as Gabby is just going to commit the chrono for this core Rubik and will be able to take the kill. Very easy stuff for TNC. EXECRATION going to try and force that tier 1 top, but they've got to defend that tier 1 mid. It is much more valuable. It looks like they may not be able to. Perhaps they don't feel confident in this defense. Armel currently just watching Raging Potato. He has no clue what's happening. Now the chain's going to come out and KP pops the drums and they rush him. Raging trying to survive with the purification, but a nice remnant dodge out of Armel. Now the sleight of fist dodge. Oh, he just jukes BDZ out, and now the chrono's there from Gabby. They got two of them with the chains out and the arrow. BDZ trying to run, but that is a complete outplay from the side of TNC.
With mid tier 1 gone, that jungle not safe to farm in, and you need a lot of jungle space for all of these cores from EXECRATION. You're still waiting for the Battle Fury and Palace. It's not even up yet.
March. Commit the poison over. He's not afraid. His whole team's right behind him, and they have the Omni. So Raging, just caught, does go down. Gabby's laughing at the bank.
So there's still a smoke up. No blink, but they've got the Echo on their mag. Perhaps that's enough to find some.
Yeah, RR going to go for the rush in with the smoke. They have that RP. They're going to try onto March, but a nice scale out from March is going to slow him down. And now Armel with the chains out. Ken trying to RP, but hasn't used it yet. Just pump fakes. March is going to die now, but Armel still going forward, trying to get RR on the Bat Rider, and should be able to as the RP is pretty darn good, but it's only core 2. Armel juked it out again. KP will survive. Tim's does go down, but Ken is a man the run, and they are chasing him down as Gabby just jumps onto the train, comes along with Ken, and Ken's still in massive danger. Raging trying to protect him, but it's not going to be good enough, and now they chase for more. Gabby after Raging Potato. Armel is being chased by BDZ, but he has his team behind him, and it looks like BDZ is going to let this one go. He won't bother chasing.
Able to catch a big one in Palos.
They could, but Palos has gone into the blur and should be just fine. Nice scan out as well from Palos. Great game sense from our PA, knowing they were coming. Barely juked out an arrow, but they seem to have spotted him out now, Palos. He is caught. Tim's going to just leap straight into him. Palos going to go for the fight on Tim's, but there's your purification. There's your Heavenly Grace. And he is just stuck, but he'll blink strike again. But no, Gabby will have none of it. He'll bash him up. Get the job done. Now it's a 4K net worth lead for TNC. Big smoke up. They'd love to get this void. Ken can't afford to miss this RP and never goes for it. Well, you miss every time, you don't take the chance. Ken, he's going to hold out for the next time, but now there's a Moonlight Shadow. Armel going to run straight into them. He is going to not hesitate at all. In fact, he's just going to wait for Gabby to move his way in, and now the chains are going to come out into an arrow, and Gabby, he'll go for the chrono on the side, grabs two of them. Ken has no RP opportunity. Well, now he does, and he will go in for a three-man, but KB, he has the Guardian Angel. The Poison Nova's out, and Ken is just gone. Gabby gets a triple. In fact, it's about to be an ultra as Palos has been chained up. A nice stolen Guardian Angel, but Gabby, he has magic damage with the MKB. He's not going to try for the Rampage. He will go back. He wants the tier 3 tower. John, I'm going to have to quickly give a warning out. If the stream cuts off, a huge thunderstorm has just started, so... Yeah, so if the stream suddenly cuts out, that would mean the power's gone out. Just FYI, but I don't think it's going to happen. Just in case, because it sounds pretty bad out there.
They're going to look for something to really pick off here.
Absolutely. Big smoke up into the side of TNC. Armel has a DD rune. They pop the drums. I believe they saw Raging, and they are going to make the chase now. But RR right next to him wants to avoid this gank from Armel. Nice chains out into the arrow, straight onto Palos. He's been stunned up for 5 seconds, and he's just going to get burnt by Armel. There's your RP, but Armel dodges it. And Ken, he only got Tims, who's just going to leap away. Look at RR. He's being tortured right now, John. They're just poking him. KP going to go finish him. Just put him out of his misery. Gabby going to jump in now after the BDZ. And it's another 4 heroes down. TNC, just complete domination so far in game number 1.
You are going to be hard-pressed to stop Gabby from this push.
The tier 3 tower gone. Chains. Oh, the arrow just in slow motion. Going to come into RR. Ken got a skewer off, but it doesn't matter when you don't have the RP available. It just doesn't do anything. That mid-rat's not going to last long at this rate. And Gabby, he got a 3-man chrono off. Armel's there with the follow-up. They've got an arrow there. That'll be BDZ gone. A triple kill out for Gabby again. He is currently 14-1.
You got to be very disciplined. Palos is just fully pushing as best as he can, but these objectives won't hold. They won't. Go for one more set. You've got the sustain from KP as well, so...
March, he goes down, but he's just basically distracting them down the bot lane. Everyone in the game tips March. March is the imposter. We all knew it to begin with. 9 players tip March. How nice. You know, Armel, that man has a family too. There's no need to embarrass him like that.
They've got the Dezo and Palos. Maybe they get a lucky crit out.
Come on, John. It's looking really tough. Palos doesn't even have a BKB right now.
No.
Chains out onto BDZ with the arrow follow-up from Tims, and he just blows up. BDZ gets a tip. Ken tries to go for the skewer, gets nothing. And Gabby will continue just pushing out the bottom wave.
Yeah, he's got the Aegis for about a second. It's gonna go, but it doesn't matter. Just a slow siege and creation. Have to do something.
Nice chains out. They've caught the mag again, and there's really nothing he can do. He's been slowed by that time dilation. None of them are moving. It's just so slow. Now the lasso comes out, but the arrow from Tims just going to hold RR down. They just won't call the GG, but Gabby will make them call it now with the chrono out, and that's it. Palos has had enough of the torture. That'll be game 1 over. And TNC take a very convincing game 1. And I suppose we'll see if they can repeat the same performance in game number 2.
Yeah, EXECRATION under a lot of pressure. They need to find a draw here, Mike. Else they're going to be fighting for that 8th spot with 032.
Okay, they're going to go for the Ember Spirit, so they are going to mix it up. The mag should be in a different role. Ken will take the mid Ember. Raging's going to play the Pos 3 mag. I think that is much, much better.
Well, EXECRATION are going to look to flex the muscle of the clock, try to make it as disruptive as possible.
Down a bot lane, Gabby and March going to be up against Raging Potato and BDZ. It's a bit of a struggle here for Gabby so far. He's been taking a lot of harassment off Raging, but looks like he will just be able to relax a bit underneath this tier 1 tower. However, top lane, KB, he was dropping very low on that Bloodseeker. It's going to go back into RR, getting tossed back into the tier 1 tower, and that's what they were doing, John. They were practicing the toss back. RR is going down, regardless of the Fairy Fire he just used. KP and Tims will split the gold.
But it's still a pretty slow start. They do manage to grab 2. And TNC, I think you start to really worry about mainly this lane for Gabby. He is struggling behind, although.
Ken does get the kill onto Armel solo. Barely surviving, by the way. He was on 30 HP, but he will make it out.
You don't want to feed kills like that to Ken. The Ember is going to try to snowball, though.
Mid lane, Ken. Tossed back into Armel. Where are you going, sir? He has a remnant of 1 second, but doesn't have the mana for it anyway. He'll just throw it out so he can get back into the lane. Now, RR, if he chased up on that clockwork, does throw the cogs out, should be fine, unless Tims gets another toss back on RR, and he's just going to toss him up into the Blood Right, and KP will just blow him up. That's a very rough time for RR. Third death of the game at 6 minutes, still at level 2 on that clockwork.
Expect earlier aggression from Palace with that. Even Raging Potato's lane not doing too bad. Again, we've seen Gabi slow down, and that's not what you want from the start.
Raging. Gonna make a run. March gonna make the chase. Raging is pretty trapped up here. Really has no way out. And Tims is gonna avalanche toss both of them. Gets the double. Gabby will give the tip over to Raging as they are in the air. It's gonna be just fine to start rotating. In fact, they're gonna try for that mid-tier 1. Not going to be too easy. Toss back onto Ken with an avalanche now, but BDZ will take the avalanche away on the Rubik, and they are committed to this push, and they are getting a lot of damage in. KP unable to hold this by himself with the Blood Right, so he's going to start with the Rupture onto Palos. He's just standing his ground, and they will get that tier 1. Now Tim's going to move in with an avalanche. Palos still trying to get the infest off, and does. KB going to chase him down, but now he's been skewered back. They've got control of this Bloodseeker, but the infest now out. KB going to survive. March will false promise. A great Blood Right back into the toss as well on Ken. He's been silenced. Raging going down and will drop. That'll be 1 death. But Palos now looking to turn back around with Ken. Try to go for the fight up against Gabby and KB. Even Armel for that matter, who is dropping low, but again March is just going to keep them safe. Execration, all they will lose is the mag. In fact, Tims in trouble. March not going to be able to stick around and help. They find a secondary.
We're still waiting for that Deso on Armel. 600 gold off. Once you've got that, of course, you can start to rip through those heroes. They are farming forward in that dark jungle to be safe, because that's where they've got vision out, so Gabby's just focusing on his own bullet, although...
Rupture out. Who have they caught there? It's a toss back onto Raging Potato, but he'll mech up and will survive, and now looking for the RP. Doesn't get it off. Not quite in the nick of time. It's going to be a 1-for-1 so far, but now March, he's been caught out by RR, getting the hook shot, and that'll be a second. Execration once again, able to win this one out. Still looking decent for Execration.
Yeah, I mean, they maintain a slight net worth lead despite being behind in kills. TNC, again, aren't in a good spot because of that lack of mid-tier 1. Ooh, yeah, that's a big one to lose. Not having the Maelstrom's big in command fight.
He's going to lose his life as well. Perhaps he remnants back in onto Armel. Wow, okay. He does get the kill. Tims might be able to trade, and does. I do like that little play out from Ken. He still got the kill before he did go down, so you can't really blame him for slowly but surely caught up. Just needs a bit more to feel comfortable.
Yeah, it's just a patience game here for TNC. They've got to be very careful with where they are on the map, though, as Execration can just go.
Gets the hook shot onto Tims, but Armel looking to blow him up. Heaven's Halberd is there from Palos, but Tims will finish off the job. Still BDZ has the avalanche now, looking to turn. Tims, he's going to get the false promise out from March and survive this one as Palos needs to run now. Gabby, he's taking too many stacks away, or perhaps not. He'll just be sent back. Raging. Still going to hold on to that RP as they do jump back in now onto March. And EXECRATION once again are winning this team fight as the backlines. They get the RP off onto two heroes. KB is going to be able to get out. Armel has to try and fight this one out with Gabby. The fight continues, but Armel is very low, tries to meld, but does not make it out. Still Gabby by himself is trying, but he will Shadow Dance, he will TP away, and he'll be fine. But March may not be. He got chained up. He'll Fortune's End and be alright, it seems. He will walk away. Gabby the only one really showing on the map right now, but raging. Gonna still see Gabby, has the RP to set up. Gabby should now know he got a warning shot, raging. Gonna get the skewer off onto the slot. Now the RP, but he got the Shadow Dance in time. So Gabby is gonna be fine, and now they jump back in after RR and just blow up the clockwork. Ken has been pounced on. The Infest will help a bit, but now the Fortune's End just holding them down. Ken has to remnant out. Palos still trying to fight Gabby. Has he waited too long? No. The false promise will be there, and Tims will jump in on Ken. Does get the Ember Spirit, and now Armel is looking for the cleanup, and he might just get it as Raging kind of helps them with that skewer, but Palos is still going to run, still going to be fine, but they are diving tier 3 towers. Now they do want the Magnus, and Raging is going to go down.
Oh man. So you're going to have a BKB on the TA, and they get to go into that Roshan.
Good. Gabby getting started. Armel going to be there with the Meld Strike now, but EXECRATION, they know what's happening. They're going to make their way in. Raging, getting a nice skill back on KB, and that should be at least one down for TNC, but no, he gets a 4-staff up to the high ground. Now the remnants to follow. Ken still trying to get the chains off, but KP still safe. Gabby blocking the hook shot now from RR. More remnants flying in, but March, can he keep him safe? KP finally does go down, but at what cost? You've lost Ken on the Ember. He'll buy back. Armel had his hands tied behind his back, but now the halberd does wear off. It's a 2-for-1. Buyback from March. Now realizing maybe they're not even there.
It's a smoke on smoke. EXECRATION, they also went for that same kind of play. You have high ground here in TNC though.
Oh, they're going straight into them. Tims gets a double avalanche into the toss. RP though, Raging, he got all three of them. That's a huge RP out. Gabby, he'll get out of the Kongs, but I can't say the same for Tims. He has the false promise, however. He is still alive, but probably not for long. However, avalanche toss going to be there in time. Now Ken going to make the chase onto March. They got Tims. They want another support, and March is a bit of a sitting duck. He does have some purifying flames out, and somehow is still alive, but not for long. Back onto the Roshan is Palos. TNC are still not going to let this one go. They want to take the fight. Gabby's going to come back in. Another Rupture out onto your Lifestealer. Palos trying to arm the toggle. Fighting back now up against Gabby. He'll Shadow Dance onto Raging. He doesn't have the RP, but it's a nice skewer. Now the remnants in from Ken. Back from Palos. Gabby is still low, still running, but it looks like he might just drop. He's trying to use that fog, but no, the Purifying Flames is out from BDZ, dropping him down. Now it's Armel bursting the world. He has a DD rune, but he's not going to be able to verse all four of them. They do take him out, and they will now go back for the Roshan play. But Tims is coming back in, John. He's going to try for the steal. Roshan's low. Aegis on the deck, but Tims, he won't make it in time. Palos does pick up the Aegis. And what a prolonged team fight it was.
You see, EXECRATION, they're really not out of it yet. They've got the team fight. They've got the damage coming in now. TNC are still lagging behind here. They're having issues with that Lifestealer and KP.
Alright, gets the hook shot off KP. Now Cogs push back. Does get the blood right. It's a nice 3-man silence, but there should be hardly any way to get out of this one, and he will drop. It's getting worse and worse for TNC as time does tick on. He'll rage up through the blood right. Back into that tier 3 tower. Does get it. Now onto the rats. Chains are out. Ken holding them back and now Raging. Trump trying to jump in, does force out the BKB. Nice toss back from Tims, but it's on Raging. He'll just RP and get out of there. Now RR with the hook shot, pushing back March, not letting him get close, but TNC will continue with the fight. They'll try, but Gabby's low. He'll Shadow Dance. There's your false promise, but they are dropping like flies, TNC. There's 3 down without buyback. Now another chains out from Ken. Gabby's low. He's trying to get to the fountain. He will barely make it as Tims. A great toss back. Kills off Ken. They get at least one for their trouble, but they will lose the bot rats. Luckily for them, that is all they're going to lose on TNC's end, as they still have 2 Tier 2 towers, but Tims again with the toss back onto RR is going to give Gabby a nice free kill, but it may cost him his own life. He'll go Scepter and try to run. He does also have the Yules available, but won't get it off in time. It's going to be a 2-for-4 trade. TNC can't really afford to lose that free XP at the moment. Have to hold on. The smoke up now. But it's being pinged out. There was a toss-up from BDZ, I believe it was, that made it very obvious. Still great hook shot out now from RR. He's going to push back Armel. Still refraction is going, but Armel's being pushed back very far. He gets the BKB, and Tims may have saved the day. Raging's looking for an RP attempt. He doesn't get one quite yet. Now Gabby going to come in, start stealing stats, but he's been disarmed. He'll purge it off, and he's back into it. They've lost BDZ on the Rubik, and now what a blood right to come out. Raging, he gets an RP on one, but it's not going to matter if he doesn't have any teammates left. Palos, he is completely surrounded, and Gabby is hitting way too hard on the Slark now. He needs the Infest to run, but they're not done. Tims comes in with the Avalanche, with the toss. They'll get Raging, and now onto the Lifestealer. Palos has been left alone, and Gabby will have his way, as he has 30 stacks of stolen Agi right now. He is hitting very, very hard on the Slark, my god. They are about to wear off, but no, he's going to go back in with Armel. They'll get the top lane of Rax. Essence Shift about to wear off. Oh, that is a nice skew out from Raging, but Gabby, he'll go for the pounce onto RR. We'll take him out. Now Tims with a great avalanche toss back onto Raging. He can't get out of this. He's been ruptured, and he will die. KP with the cheeky 4-star play. Smoke up. KP, for some reason, is not going to be smoked. He'll hang on the outskirts and maybe act as bait. That appears to be the case. He'll move in now with the Blood Right. Team right around him. They're having a look at KP. Tree ward down. KP goes for a rupture onto Palos. Now Armel jumping in with the toss back from Tims. And Palos is just going to bleed to death. Oh, that is not nice. Now they look for more. RR going to hook shot away. Not going to waste his time being around there, but Raging may not be so lucky. Tims on the chase, has the toss back with the blink, but Raging now going to skewer him back at home into the base. BDZ now toss up. And RR looks to be the one caught here, trying to TP, but won't make it out. Gabby has the damage. Here come the buybacks. Remnant in. That is brave from Ken. He'll Remnant back out. Palos now going in onto the Tiny, but Gabby stealing more shifts away. Going to try and manage how many Gabby does get.
Tier 4 items are being scouted out as well. Probably just wait for those power spikes to be done with.
They're going back in TNC. KP going to be spotted. Does get the rupture off again onto Palos, but this time Palos was ready. False Promise will save KP, and Palos still trying to run. He's still ruptured, but it will wear off now. Meanwhile, RR in danger, is going to die back, but he's been ruptured. Gabby is the one that is bleeding out right now thanks to BDZ. Needs to get the Shadow Dance off, and does, but can't really move. Instead, they'll toss Raging to him, and Gabby will take care of the mag. He'll buy back. It's a Palos who's been avalanched. Remnants forward from Ken. He'll use the BKB into the RP of Raging. It could be a big one. They infest down, but it's not going to be enough. Gabby's still fighting back. Will pounce back out. KP is brought back now on the Bloodseeker. Now back in from Tims. Gets Raging Tato with a dieback, and they've got Palos under control. He's been pounced up. He needs to run, but he's falling low. He'll armlet toggle through the damage of Armel. Now Ken will Remnant out of there. BDZ will not be so lucky, however. He is dead. But they do TP Palos out. No buybacks left on the map, John. 0.
Yeah, this is a scary spot for Execration. High ground under siege once more. Look at Gabby. 26 stacks up. They're gonna try.
It's a lot of damage, but they disarm him and stun him up. Gabby's still fine. Has another Shadow Dance, so he can turn back around now. They rupture up Palos. He's kind of stuck there, and Tim's gonna toss him up in the air, and that is GG. Well played. There are no buybacks left. You've lost all your cores, and TNC, even while memeing, do get it done. And that'll be a 2-0 victory for this TNC side.
Yeah. Clean wins for TNC. Execration, they look pretty good though. props to them. They brought the fight out. Not enough to overcome the powerhouse that is TNC. And they still find themselves staring at that 8th place spot. Not a good spot to be in. They do have, 1 series left, right?